back, and which I have successfully done. So now I'm back in there. So for YouTube, you guys may have missed it, and probably did, is that I just dropped the link to get in the book. So that you can get the book at the Patreon. Let me drop it in the chat here as well. Also gets the chat going. All right, so there you guys both have it now, right? So now finally, after all that brouhaha, now I can talk about these queens of the cemetery, right? These queens of the cemetery who are all so powerful and so also kind of scary. But like I said, we're going to come at it from three entirely different cultures kind of representing the same idea or the same effect. So we have Man Brigitte, who's a guardian of cemeteries and spirits near the living. We have Hel, who is absolute ruler of the underworld realm in Norse mythology. And we have Persephone of Greek mythology, who is the mediator between life and death cycles. So they represent, like the slogan says, the grave, which is the immediate presence of death among the living, the gate, which is the transition of the dead, and the return, which is the mythic possibility of rebirth, renewal, or seasonal changes. So that's what we get when we have all three of these together. Each one of them really represents an entirely different culture, right? And just a way of belief. And I'm going to say, like, I don't know necessarily who's more or less comfortable with, the cemetery. Like, they all seem there has to be a level of just like comfort that goes along in how you accept death, right? Like, that's what it is. Each one of these figures is a different representation of death for a very specific reason. And the cultures that they belong to are bringing up some things that internally we're all dealing with. So first is Man Brigitte. Now, Man Brigitte, again, is the one who comes from, Vodun culture, right? She's going to be primarily associated with the cemetery in the liminal spaces, right? So she comes from Haitian voodoo beliefs. She is considered to be the Loa, right? This is important. She is the Loa of cemetery crosses, black veils. What else? What else has she got going on there? I'm trying to think. And she's a very popular character. Like, we can't forget that she remains like, and their culture's thriving. The Loa culture, the Haitian voodoo culture, is thriving. When we talk about their respect and their honoring of their traditions, this is a thriving culture. So she hasn't been forgotten in any way, shape, or form. She absolutely remains at the top. She's black veil. She's grave markers. She's fire and rum. These are also important components of her. And you see how she's always attired. I think that's rum that she's got in her hand. Now, she's also known as the wife of Baron Samedi. And he's also a bigger figure. This is a guy who is a very cool representation of death himself. And she's going to be at the physical resting places of the dead. So she's called on to protect graves, to guard spirits, to punish those who desecrate burial grounds. Right? So she's known out there. People actively will call upon her. And you'll see, I'm just going to show you a couple of different images because she's still actively drawn, right? Like, this is her. Let's grab her. This is a version of Man Brigitte right now. That's been pretty prevalent. Like, we've seen this one, for a while. And historically, like, this is a deity who's had a long ride in terms of rolling with, this specific culture. I'm going to drop this out of the way here. She's been on the scene for so long that she is literally 100% just a part of the culture. Historically, she comes from West African spiritual traditions. She is associated, she has three streams: West Africa, she has Irish Catholic traditions, and Caribbean voodoo development. So all these things were kind of blended to absorbing her into one. This is what has been a big part of her longevity, right? So she is associated with Saint Bridget of Ireland, and during the enslaved trade, enslaved Africans in Haiti merged these Catholic saints with the African spirits, right? So they were merging the saints and the African spirits, and if you do that, what you get is a voodoo Loa system. That's what you get when you mix all these belief systems together. It becomes streamlined and it becomes this. So you get this Loa system, and now you have Baron Samedi, you have the Queen of Cemeteries, you have the Protector of God. So she's very different than the others in the sense of like how she came about being with that transatlantic slave trade really makes it significant. Um, because culturally people were still like they brought that belief over with them, right? Like they brought the belief over there with them, and Catholicism was just kind of a perfect like venue for them all to blend together. Like it allowed for the fusion of the Vodun system. That's what Catholicism really did. So psychologically, like she embodies like memory, she embodies ritual mourning, she embodies the boundary between spirit and flesh. So she's very intimate in terms of like she's the most intimate one. And I think personality wise, man, like she seems to be like the easiest one to deal with, man. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like she seems like the easiest one to deal with. And you can see these are some other portraits of her. Like this is her and Baron Samedi together, right? So this is obviously an old school. Like he's got the crown. Like she's partial to purple, right? So this is one of the kind of the markers for her is what's the color scheme you see her in, and for Brigitte, like purple is the thing. Purple is something that she's always gonna be attired in. So you can see she's got that on. There's some other depictions because she's live and direct right now. Like what's keeping her alive too is video games, and she's good on the video game scene. Like, let me see if I can. This is what she looks like in Smite. So if you're like if you feel like you want to channel her, like you want to get into her skin, you want to be down with her, then what you need to do is go play Smite. Like Smite, you can play it on your PC. I don't even know if it can. I don't even know if you have to have like a full on like gaming rig. I don't know. It's a lot of grab. It's a fast moving game. I don't know. I don't know. But if you've got a decent computer, if you can game on your computer at all, you can go get Smite. Like it's free. But then if you want to get into good stuff, you're gonna have to pay for it. And I just haven't wanted to pay for anything. So I'm sure all that stuff is on there. I just never got into it. I have the basic version of Smite. And maybe I'll mess with it again today. I just feel like it's such a fast-paced game that I kind of tend to not want to mess with it. What I'm saying? Where it's like, it's just chaos, right? I mean, which, that's a lot of times what people are going for when you're gaming. You just kind of want to play something that's, it's fast and furious. Like, so I'm kind of not really like into it right now. Like, I have to say that I'm not really super into that kind of game right now. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm simply saying that, I haven't really had it, for that one at this point, right? So talking more about her kind of gets it into like her modern sense. Like she's fully represented in a modern sense. This isn't an H&D. She's been around for a really, really long time. And let me see. I pulled up some information on her early on. Let me see where she's at here. Yeah, she's been around. Now we're talking about her in her oldest forms, coming over during the slave trade. So we're probably seeing like 1500s on this time. And then, so she's part of Haitian voodoo. She's kept alive by this Smite culture. She's got, there's Cyberpunk 2077. I don't even know what that is, right? But I pulled up some images on that too. Because this is also some imagery that's like, so she's modernized, like she's in games like now. This is another character where they absolutely use her name, like they use the entirety of her name, but I think she's like more of a kind of a gaming rebel or something like that. Like, and here's the thing with this creature. So my man Brigitte is actively worshipped right now. Are there any festivals or anything like that going on for this goddess that we would see right now in modern culture? And I just want to check because I believe that she still is got active veneration. But let's look here. But this is her. Like I said, she's in. So like, there's 2 or 3 different games, and you see people are kind of across the board in their representations of her. Like whether skin color changes, like all that stuff. But like it's kind of cool because she's still growing. So okay, so she does have some major modern festivals connected to her. Every year in Haiti and across the Haitian diaspora, November 1st to the 2nd. These dates overlap with All Saints Day and All Souls Day. So the Catholic calendar and voodoo traditions blend together in the colonial Haiti. So these holidays merge with their ancestral. So we can see it. So during this celebration, and this is a national festival, right, of voodoo culture. So that's the prominence of voodoo culture in Haiti. And like culturally, like we know how strong it is, and we've seen that representation. Big up to Haiti with this one. Okay, so during the celebration, people visit the cemeteries. They offer food and rum to the spirits. They perform dances and rituals. They mainly honor the ancestors, and the cemetery becomes a part of all this, like gravity, right? Of course, she is herself the queen of the cemetery, so she's invoked extremely heavily during this period of time. Let me see if I can find some images of this Festival of the Dead here. This would be interesting. It's be interesting to see here. So speaking of active veneration, like she's at the top of the list right now. I don't know if Persephone or Hell. I'm pretty sure there's no active festivals for either one of them, right? Like they don't, they're not getting that right now. Especially, I doubt anyone's like worshiping Hell right now. But clearly, Man Brigitte, like she's absolutely getting love right now. Let me see if I can find this one here. Okay, this is what the festival looks like, right? And you can see like right up front, the first thing I said was she was always represented by the color purple, and you see that in this imagery here, right? This is the festival as it's being practiced right now. So she has an active festival. She has active worship with this festival. Every single holiday, every single year. And people, go to cemeteries to see if they bring for her. This is what's going to be good. Like, what do you give to her? And this always needs to be a section. And understand if you run up on any supernatural, spiritual being, what do they want? What's going to make them chill out, right? So what she likes is rum infused with hot peppers. Are you kidding me? Hot pepper rum? Is it not enough? Is it not enough? Okay. Hot pepper rum, black candles, crosses on graves, purple and black clothing. I wear black t-shirts all the freaking time. Graveyard rituals. Voodoo priests and priestesses may call upon her for protection of graves, justice against those who have harmed them, and communication with spirits. So you get a lot banged in for this deity. This is a lot that's going on with her, and she's connected to a lot of other important figures. And I'll talk about each of these guys in their own. Baron Samedi, obviously the ruler of the dead. Baron LaCroix, Baron Cemetery. Oh, that's easy one there. So they're all known for being like very different than what we see in this culture. The gods themselves or the spirits are allowed to be loud. They can be comedic. They can be funny. They can be sexual and irreverent. They get drunk, right? They're not stiff. They're very down to earth type of beings. So they seem more to me more relatable. And there's just a lot of just like one of their most famous rituals is associated with the Grand Cemetery of Port-au-Prince. Let's see if I can find some imagery on that for us here. That might be nice for our noodles to have something to kind of look at here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I see this, right? This is some Haitian culture right here. Like I said, this is live and direct. Like this is live. Like the belief system is live and direct. Man, Brigitte, man, I'm telling you guys right now, I keep some rum in the house, man, just because I got to pour out a little bit. You never know when she might blow through. I don't know if I have black candles. I have a lot of black t-shirts and stuff like that, which she might be down with. And I'm hoping so, right? Like that's my out. But a very, very powerful deity or spirit, a Loa, as we should get it correct. Like that's what they are. It's a Loa. And again, I don't know if you guys caught, like I was definitely talking about some work I'm putting in. Let me see if I can find this for you, man. I'll always be having good stuff for you guys here, man, right? Right? You guys know I'm always. Oh man, you know what? I don't think I got that far in it yet. But I'm gonna use her. I'm gonna give her some run too. I got a project that I've been working on, and let me see if I can find this here. I think it's worth looking at. So you guys can kind of see what I'm working with Man Man. Like these, this is my kind of representations of her, right? So I'm kind of working on my character sheets on her. So again, like I'm spinning like a modern mythology tale, and I've already got like how I'm working her into the story. This is one version that I'm thinking about, like, and this is kind of like, this is a little more kind of wild out there kind of version, but just kind of the character art that I'm kind of going with, again, keeping with that purple style. This one I probably really can't really find much of a use for. Maybe I'll use it for like some teaser artwork or something like that. There's probably not a whole lot that I could actually do with that. But the other image, obviously, this is pretty good. And another one, and this would probably be like a variant style for her because she's not going to keep her hair the same all the time, right? So I got to have like the fro look for her too. So this is kind of what I've been working on. And how I'm gonna, use these characters. Hey, thank you for stopping in, man. I definitely appreciate the love. Let me, what up? What? Hey, hello, right? I'm excited. Thank you guys for stepping in. Hey, if you got that, did you go download that? I'm talking to my man in the chat here, so let me know if you copped it yet as far as the book goes. But yeah, this is what I'm setting up for my character right now. I'm kind of getting her going. So I'm part of it, guys. I'm part of helping keep the mythology of her dopeness around, right? So this is kind of where it is. And I wasn't gonna do this, but I knew I was gonna end up trying to show you guys some of the artwork because I do want you guys to be I do want you guys to like you guys are my audience, man. If you guys love mythology, I'm putting together a mythological story for you guys. Like it's Nine World Crime. This is kind of this. So this is my cover art right here, right? This kind of cover art right here. So I'm gonna mix the mythical in with like modern times. So like anyway, it's gonna be coming. I'll have some stuff up for you guys soon. Like I said, I got that ebook for you guys. That's my format. I'm gonna turn this into, my graphic novel. I'll do it the same way, right? So anyway, let's get back to this lady. Like we're talking about her. We're talking about what she looks like. Her various representations. We see her holidays. I don't have a holiday, guys. Not a lot of people. I mean, it's a lot of seems like a lot of holidays, but not for as many deities and stuff that have been around. There's not that many holidays, right? But I got a particular kind of love for this character, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so I want to show you this thing. I do want to show you guys this scene. I don't know if I showed you. I do want to show you this, right? I'm sorry. Okay, so this is definitely a death thing there because we got this so now like I'm mixing some Grigori mythology. This is a fallen angel. So I'm gonna give you guys everything in this. And like I said, I've got episode 1 almost ready. I'm not to the part where Man Brigitte, but I'm actually working on her scene now. It'll be very cool. Like it'll be very cool. So I really kind of got into digging out what her personality is. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just doing the whole nine, right? I'm doing the whole nine because if you and I'm gonna lay out some rum. This is what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna go to Hot Topic. Right. I'm gonna go to Hot Topic and I'm gonna get some purple candles because it seems like Hot Topic is a place that always has everything you need, right? So I'm gonna Hot Topic and get some candles, and then I'm gonna be ready to present her. Since I'm gonna be talking about it, there's nothing better than getting a god to like you than talking about her. All right, so somebody's insisting that I move on, and this of course is Hel, right? And Hel is from the Norse mythology, and she represents a kind of a different aspect of death overall, right? She's overall a different representation of death. She is death as like a get your ass in here. She's the gate of death. She is the queen of the silent realm. So to me, she's almost more like this is jail, right? Like you ain't getting up out of here, right? That's kind of more what I feel like she is. Did I drop the wrong link in there? Let me copy this link here. I'm sorry, YouTube. I don't know if you have the link to the book, right? Here's the link to the book. Okay. So you guys got the link to the book. Go check out that link. What the heck is Oh my god. Okay, that actually isn't. But I'll have to get you guys on that because if I anyway. Okay, so let's talk about Hel. So Hel is from Norse mythology. I'm sure you guys know this by now. She's the daughter of Loki and this giantess Angrboda. Now, the interesting thing to me, what I always thought was interesting with Norse mythology, or like mythology in general, is like we're always fighting with giants. In every mythology, giants are the bad guys. I don't know if you guys realize this, but at least all through like biblical mythology, they're fighting against giants. A lot of native Inuit mythology in the Americas here, we talked about giants. Let's see who else talked about giants. Oh, all throughout Ireland, the British Isles, they talk about giants, right? So she is a descendant of a giant or a giantess, and Loki, whose people are literally frost giants. We kind of forget that about Loki, that he is a frost giant. So this is again his giant lineage, and I'll put together, I'll talk about that in depth, right? But on the Hel, so this is the product of what she is. She's product of giant breeding. She represents half living, half dead, and she represents the halls of the underworld, the gates of Helheim. So she is obviously seen in this form. We see her in other forms. Let me grab a couple of images of her too, right? She's shown in other forms, but like this is kind of the pretty form of her, right? They did a pretty Marvel did a pretty form of her, right? This is Kate Blanchett, I think, is the oh, it's not going to show this image. Okay, hang on. Let me grab another one here. Marvel shows a pretty image of her because her real like they don't want to show her face half decaying, right? They kind of like, let's see if this one might work here. They kind of don't want to show her decayed face, so they don't. They make her dark. They have the hair down, but like the true visage of her is, yeah, she doesn't have a face, right? And that's hard. Like obviously that's hard on the movie screen to be like she ain't got a face. So they don't want to show her without a face, right? This one doesn't want to show up either, right? And they're really good about keeping these images on lock. So maybe I will get one of her. Let me see. Maybe I can get this comic book one. So obviously she's got to fit more of like the movie screen adaptation, and having her without a face, just man, it's really hard. It's really troublesome when half your face is gone. But this is what the imagery of the deity actually was she did not have a face. She was half face. She was half living. And that was really her true iconography. She rules the realm of the underworld. And this is where most souls go. That's the problem. Most people are not going to Valhalla, right? We all realize that most people ain't going to Valhalla. It's a special space. You have to die in battle. So that means that this place is full of like the elderly, the sick, people who just died of natural causes, which usually just you owe, right? So she represents inevitability in her aspect of death. She does not hunt the living. She simply receives them. So she's not after you because she knows you're going to be there already. And she probably knows what time you're going to come over, right? That's more of who she is. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, you have a time frame. There's not much you can do about it. So I ain't really worried about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are for her, you're always a sure thing. You're absolutely gonna show up, right? You're not gonna get out of this, right? You don't get out of falling into her realm. You never do, right? You never do. You're gonna end up in her realm wherever. I'm just snagging an image. I just want to bring this up here for you guys. Where are we at? This is Mythlab and Cemetetery. Okay. So I had to snag an image, kind of the old school way. Let's see if it got in here. Where are you at here? Let's see. Did that do it or no? That didn't do it here either. God damn it. Let's see here. Okay. So this is the Marvel, and like they kind of made her pretty badass. Like this is, but again, like she's clearly a living being, right? And what she does now they change her a lot. Like obviously in this format, the big things was that She becomes Odin's daughter now. She's not Loki's daughter. Like Loki gets demoted to a kid of Odin, and I'm not sure why they went that route. I don't know why they went that route because it kind of destabilizes their entire. Um, I don't know. I don't know why they would go that route. But so you demote Loki to like now he's a son. When the whole story of Odin and Loki is that they were the ones that were brothers. It wasn't Thor and Loki. It's Odin and Loki who actually were more like brothers. And then Loki is like always around as this trickster and starts getting his revenge out for these various things that go on. So it is a different storytelling, and that influences like what we see with Hel as well. So she's very different. She's not about conquest. I'm sure when the day of Ragnarok happens, she unleashes all the dead. Like that's a part of it because it's the final thing that's going to happen. But in this role, she just represents the realm of dead. Once somebody crosses a threshold, she enters. You enter her kingdom, and that's it. She's finality. She's authority. She's cosmic inevitability. Whereas Brigitte stands among the graves, this woman rules the land of the graves, like all of it, like the realm beyond it. So she appears, in all the surviving sources that come from Norse mythology. So the prose Edda, the poetic Edda by Sturluson. So we're way back, 1200. So we're 1,000 years into kind of understanding this mythology. And she is again the daughter of Loki and Grboda. Her siblings, right? The Fenrir wolf. Fenrir is her, her sibling. Gegorgan, the world snake, is her sibling. When Odin sees the power of Loki's children, right? The line of Loki is powerful. Like that's actually probably like one I need to break out. The line of Loki is as powerful as the line of Odin. Easily, right? Like Thor, his top one is what he has to go up against. He has other children, right? Like Balder, and I know there's a giant one. I don't know the strong guy. I don't know if they would be able to handle if we went 3-on-3. I don't know if Odin's children's come out of that, with that win. I'm just being 100% honest, right? So Odin separates them as soon as they appear on the scene. She becomes the queen of Helheim, the cold underworld realm, and she is not punishment. She is not punishment. This is not punishment to see Hela. This is where everybody goes, right? Everybody ends up here, whether you were good or not, if you didn't die in battle. So that kind of sums her up. Now, like I said, she's going to be popular in movie series. So her popularity, she's been strong in Marvel Comics for years. So she's been in the comic book version for a long ass time. And so we're kind of used to her comic book version. Let me see one of her, if I can find. Oh, this is a great cover. Let me grab this real quick for you guys. This is absolutely worth it, right? Why would you close down? And this is a great way of how they represent her in the comic. I mean, this is that's a pretty high quality cover right there. Like hell. So this is again, this is just Marvel's. I don't know why I would show their image because they've done so much to kind of like screw the story up of her. But this is kind of their version, but it's really good artwork, and I just wanted to kind of show that. So that's overall like who she is. She stayed very modern. With Norse culture, they seem like they do a really good job. The modern descendants of Norse culture do a pretty good job of kind of keeping their culture strong, keeping it relevant. So I definitely say they've done that here. So this is a very relevant deity. She's still talked about. People are still reading the mythology, like very important deity here. Okay. So the next one that we're going to go to, of course, is someone from the Greek mythology, and she challenges for being, among the most dominant or recognizable among all three of these, right? Maybe not the most recognizable, but at least by name recognition, and that is Persephone, right? Like Persephone, who is the daughter of Zeus and Demeter. Okay, she of course is the wife of Hades, right? Through some tension. The crazy thing about it is like they forget in the story that he had asked Zeus for permission for her hand. I'm not saying that it makes it any better. Clearly, she wasn't down with it, but it is the he was going about it like per their system. Again, I of course don't agree that it's the correct thing. She is all about flowers, spring, and the growth because when she's gone, her mother Demeter, it's so sad that screw all the rest of us, right? It's just going to be dark with no plants and no sun and no food, nothing. If I can't have my daughter back, it's very personal. She's also associated with the dark crown of the underworld. She is a radiant goddess with dark robes adorned with roses, holding a pomegranate, usually standing with her with Hades, right, or her husband, or whatever he is at this point. And the pomegranate is important because that was her bond to the underworld. When Hades went and snatched her up and brought her back to the underworld, he's like, yeah, he didn't hurt her, he didn't do anything, outside of literally grabbing her, right, and kidnapping her. He wasn't rough with her, and he just said, okay, you're gonna wait. I know you're hungry. So he pulled the okey doke on her, like because she ate of food from the underworld. Now she had to return her. Now all he needed was to get that pomegranate seed in her. What the symbolism of that is, I really don't know. But she operates now eternally as this underworld administrator with Hades. Like she is the earth with her, and the earth, she is within the earth, and her mother is the earth, who is Demeter. So that kind of all works together when we talk about who she actually is, like, kind of where the character, where she comes from, like where she fits. And again, this was never her choice, but now she's here, and she seems like she accepted it. Again, this is their explanation for the seasons, is her descent here. So her myth itself is all about death and rebirth, fertility cycles, the hidden power and beauty of the underworld. That's the thing. Like Persephone, in all of her iterations, always represents beauty. This is what we know about her, and I'm going to give you guys a couple examples of how this character gets represented. Right, like where's this first one here? Okay, if it's going to allow this thing, like you never know, right? This is the Percy Jackson representation of Persephone. Okay, and you notice they used Rosario Dawson, right? Who makes this amazing Persephone, because Persephone got snatched up because she was hot, right? She was a goddess beauty herself, and so that's always been a part of maintaining Persephone. And I'm going to show some other images. I have some more, but this is how like Percy Jackson really captured like what the appeal of this deity was. Like she was said to be this like mythically beautiful. They kind of downplay it in some of the stories, but this is kind of who Persephone is, right? Persephone in Greek myth. And for me in K, I want to find this other image because she stays on the scene. Like Persephone stays on the scene, and this is a different way that they represent her. Let me see if I can get her. And this is like this story. This is again the story of Chaos. It's another Greek adaptation story. I don't know if it's going to come up. Let's see if I'm trying to grab one that comes up. Okay, this one should. And this is a very different take on Persephone here. And this is from Chaos, right? And here's the thing, like they have her in kind of a severe, with the glasses and the hair up. But this lady here, they don't show an image. It's just absolutely like this kind of curvy, kind of goddess figure. So they perpetually do that. That is a part of her. But in this form, she is far more administrative Persephone, and she's definitely a part of the team. Like she's more tight in her role with Hades. They're more united in how they get down. So this is what she represents in her role. Now, historically, we've been talking about her since the Homeric hymns. We're talking 7th century, 6th century, and the most important one is obviously the hymn to Demeter. It's the one that actually manifests all the stories that we get. Like the primary stories that we get about her come from there. This is the foundation. Abducted by Hades. Demeter searches the earth. Crops fail. Zeus intervenes. Persephone now gets to come to part of her time on the surface, but part of the time in the underworld. That's why we have the cycles, the cycles of the season, right? Right, and that seems to be fine for all of them. So this deity type we've kind of been talking about for a long time. Obviously, we have to deal with the underworld, and we've dealt with the underworld in various ways. These three are just representations of that at different levels. We see kind of an administrator task, a greeting task, and then she often Persephone, that is often related to the maybe you get to come back. Maybe this she works down at there's a division of hell, and they call it the maybe you get to come back, right? Office. And she's the one who runs it. And hey, she made Hades give it to her because she just argued and she wouldn't stop. And he's like, okay, sometimes people get to come back. And you know what? You get to deal with it, right? You go over and deal with it. He doesn't approve that. I mean, they only get a couple, right? She only gets a few, but she fought to get those two. She symbolizes hope of return. That's because she gets to return. So she means that maybe every time she comes up, she gets to take two people along with her. Let me bring these two guys back, right? Just put them on my card, right? They'll carry my bags to the underworld and then they're free. So maybe that's how she allows it. But we have to thank her for doing that because that's a part of the tale that comes along with Persephone. She's the hope that I can get out of this underworld eventually, right? Like probably not, but I'm hoping for it. And this is where she represented. It's very administrative. And in the Chaos series, we actually see her do that a lot more. And in fact, like, you know what? In the Percy Jackson series, I think Grover was in the underworld. Let me see if I can find that because that's actually like very consistent storytelling. I don't know if I grab that, but that's who she is in the Percy Jackson story. No reason not to put up an image of Rosario Dawson, though, right? Absolutely not a reason to not put up this picture of Rosario Dawson. But they kind of negotiate with her to escape the underworld. So she's the key to getting out of it, right? She's absolutely the key. Like, and like, you know, Hades knows this, and every time she does it, he's just like, I mean, again. And but like every, you know, he doesn't do it all the time, but he's got to do it, right? And it's her way of like, she flexes and she's like, no, you're gonna give me this. So because she's representing her authority in the underworld. And that's what each one of these figures is really doing, is representing the female authority in the underworld. And we see that. Each one of them has a control. They're not bystander characters. They're all deeply rooted in the belief system. Now, in each one of them, how we perceive them as humans, that kind of says, you know, a different kind of psychology. Persephone was, again, this maturation that she became an adult or a woman during this time in the underworld. So that was her transition, coming of age, sexual awakening, right? This is true. Loss of her innocence and these seasonal cycles are all set to be put in it. She goes from being a girl to being a woman. When she descends into the underworld, this is the initiation of her adulthood. You are a wife now, and they don't run away from that in the Greek telling the story. Hell herself, she represents the acceptance of this is inevitable. Like, I don't care what you got. You ever see someone where like, I don't even have to chase you. I'm not even going to chase you because I don't care. That's how much. In fact, you running is probably going to get you here a whole lot faster. You know you're out of shape. You running away from hell will probably get you caught up even faster because we all know that you're out of shape, and she knows it too, right? Everybody dies. She embodies this idea. It's not dramatic. You don't have to cry every single time something happens. It is simply the end of life. She is a calm authority that reflects this Norse concept of fate, right? They had a word in what they call it, right? It's fate. You cannot escape destiny, but you can try and meet it with dignity. So have some damn respect for yourself, right? That's the cold truth of what we are, which is mortal beings, okay? Brigitte, of course, is the represent who's like close to the living. The dead are not gone, right? In that votum system, you still have access to your ancestors, to your people. That's why you pour out a little bit for them, because they're always around, right? They're not gone. And that the existence between the underworld and their spiritual world and this world, it's a thin barrier. It's like this. Sometimes you can poke through, and if you go to liminal spaces like swamps or caves, you can get through that bad boy, get to the other side. And that means other stuff can come over too. So she governs those spaces, graveyards, ancestral spirits, justice for the dead, right? Personally, she's known to be foul-mouthed but funny. She's very protective when it's people. So she's not silent. She's going to be all around talking all the time. In pop culture, Hell has appeared in several movies and throughout the Marvels, including 2017 Marvel Ragnarok. We see a new representation of her played by Kate Blanchett, and she's a very different type of goddess than what we see in the movies because even her parent has changed, and now she's Odin's former executor in the movies, despite the fact that she was Loki's daughter, so not even related to him. Persephone has come around, and she's still one of the most frequently reinterpreted myth figures. She gets almost as much run as anybody for her role because we love Persephone. We see her character is the character in The Matrix. The Monica Bellucci character is inspired by Persephone. Like, he is Hades. He controls the realm. She's the side lady who's like, yeah, you better do this. That's who she is. Like, that's a role. And it's very similar to what we see with Rosario Dawson's character. And in the Netflix series Chaos, she appears as a more political, like she's playing the political game. Her and Hades have to kind of navigate Zeus and Zeus's psychosis while keeping administration of the underworld all under wraps. So each one of them gives us like absolutely true purpose to why they're here, and it's great. Like Brigitte, in that modern sense, is linked to like comic books and supernatural TV and horror games. So she stays on point all the time. People dress up at her. Like, I'm sure there's some crossover with the Dia de Muertos whole symbolism and festival. And this is what it is. She's the cemetery queen. She's always there. You can reach out and touch her any freaking time that you choose. And that's what we get from these characters here. So that's the Mythlab for today. Again, I'm going to break it up. Let me know your comments on this. How are we doing here? If you guys have something specific you want to learn about, again, I am here for your mythological queries. So I'm going to dip off now. You know what it is. I'm going to go and give myself something to eat. Something good, too. And then I'll be back later doing a little more myth. But I will be working on the graphic novel. And so check my socials for it. You should be seeing things come soon. But as always, hit that like and subscribe and share and tell your friends. Then all your friends to come over and hang out in Nine Chronicles with me. Because it's a good time most of the time, right? We learn a little bit of stuff some of the times, but it's